You are now watching Zach Lesage PTCG. Let's get it. Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to Zach Lesage PTCG. I'm Zach Lesage. Word up. Today we are going to be covering over Mewtwo and Mew Welder. So this deck kind of was hiding in the shadows for a hot minute, but Urshifu seemed to clear out the metagame a little bit. And of course, Urshifu is weak to Psychic, so here's another Psychic deck. I try to cover all the combination between new decks and older decks on this channel, especially in a competitive sense. Sure, maybe I'll cover a meme deck here and there. This morning I covered a Weepinbell Salazzle deck that if you haven't got a chance to check it out, you totally should. But here I'm also covering a little bit more of a tier 1.5 deck. So try to cover a combination of both, mainly anything that's going on in the standard format. So this deck seems absolutely broken right now. I think it's well positioned in our metagame, and a lot of people are not talking about it, and I don't think I've seen any YouTubers cover this deck in a hot minute. So I'm going to be that guy where I just try to cover all the best content and help everyone become more knowledgeable. If you want to play the deck while you're watching this video, you can go into the description and copy and paste that deck list right into PTCGO. If you're missing any cards for that deck, you can go to PTCGOstore.com, plug in code ZLesage5 to save 5% on your next order of codes. If you haven't already, hit that subscription right there. Subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. We're currently on our road to getting to 3,000 subs. Wow, it's crazy to think that we were only at 1,000 like a month and a half ago, but here we are on the way. And yeah, this is one of those new Battle Styles decks that we're covering, or part of the Battle Styles format. So that's how you're going to be able to kind of differentiate going forward, at least in my mind. So let's jump into the deck list, see what this deck's about, and yeah, let's get it. Jumping into the deck list, we got the Mewtwo and Mew GX with the Welder variant. So this is a deck that's been sitting along kind of in the shadows, being like, yo, I don't really like my Pikarom matchup. ADP just gained Rusted Sword, so that certainly hurts. And E-Turn's a rough one, right? In this case, Urshifu really solved a lot of those poor matchups. And Mewtwo Mew is just kind of like, okay, cool, I can survive again. We're gonna come out. It's safe to be friends again in the metagame and see exactly what's going on. So this deck works off the ability Perfection, which you could use any Pokemon GX that you have on your bench or in your discard pile. So you can see there's a lot of GX Pokemon to copy, and there's even some V Pokemon that can kind of benefit from what we have going on here. So let me explain some of the Pokemon that we have here. Crobat's going to be more of a setup Pokemon, but in this case, since we do play Aurora Energy kind of binds this deck because it counts as one of every energy, but only one at a single time. That means it could be a Dark Energy when we want to attack with Venomous Fang. If there is something that we want to ever attack against Venomous Fang, we do have that as an option. Incineroar-GX is really for when our opponents, we could discard their special energies or hit something for Crushing Punch. Usually Pokemon that have 130 or less HP, remember to check your weakness and resistance on that one. When it comes to Mewtwo and Mew, it's not of the type that you're copying, it's the type that you are, which is Psychic type. You also have Darkest Tornado GX, so if they don't hit you for an OHKO, you could do a 3 energy GX knockout back. That'd be really great against some popular tag team Pokemon. Naganadel-GX is mainly used for Venom Shot to snipe things off on your opponent's bench. It's great at sniping off things like Dedenne-GX and Jirachi-GX. Injection's like okay if you ever need to do this to add a prize card to your opponent's whatever for any reason, but I haven't really used Injection too much since playing this deck. Galarian Sirfetch'd is really an answer to decks that are weak to fighting, because Meteor Smash should be able to knock out an Eternatus VMAX or a Pikarom deck without too many troubles here. You do have the Aurora Energies. If you have them on a couple Pokemon in play, you can just swap in with a switch with Resolute Spear, attach those energies to this Pokemon and attack them. This card might find its way filtering out of the deck, as Pokemon that are weak to fighting typically aren't going to be super successful right now, just because Urshifu's really taken over as the king, queen, whatever Urshifu is, for attacking as the fighting type Pokemon. So Galarian Sirfetch'd is not the homie anymore. But we've seen E-Turn pop up here and there. Pikarom's still around to some degree, so this is really more of an early format list, but this is a tech that can definitely get filtered out for something a little bit more meta. Reshiram and Charizard-GX is great because you could attack with Double Blaze on a Mewtwo for 200. That knocks out a lot of V Pokemon. Flare Strike, if you go first, you want to attach an energy to a Mewtwo. Attach 3 with a Welder, you could be doing 230. And then you get Double Blaze GX later on in the game. This Pokemon can really help you knock out tag team Pokemon if necessary, especially if you go first, attach an energy, and it sticks, then you can get 3 the next next turn, you do 300 damage, just wiping them out of existence. We got Eldegoss V to get back some of our important supporter cards. We really only play the 2 supporter cards, which are Boss's Orders to bring up whatever he wants, and we have Welder to accelerate those energies. So we can get back those whenever we need to. Vileplume GX allows you to attack for 2 energies to do Massive Bloom, but you could also use Allergic Explosion GX for 50, doing Burn, Paralyze, and Poisons. Dedenne is really to pitch things. We do want to have a lot of these Pokemon in the discard pile. You can't even bench them because they are stage 1, stage 2 Pokemon. And of course, drawing cards with Dedenne GX. Gengar Mimikyu allows you to kind of use Horror House GX to stop what your opponent's doing. They can't play any cards, and then follow it up the next turn with a big knockout. So you could save yourself a turn in the game and then just go for a gigantic Poltergeist. Indeedee V is great against opposing Psychic Weak Pokemon, or even against Urshifu, by offering a 2 prize card Pokemon that can hit for 10 plus 60 for each damage counter. This is also incredibly strong against Centiskorch VMAX, so keep that in mind. Jirachi GX is really to stop our Psychic type weakness, especially against decks like Dragapult, so it seems really cool. We do have to watch out for things like Mimikyu in this format that can stop our abilities like Psychic Zone. And of course we have Mewtwo Mew GX, which kind of binds this all together to copy whatever we want. Don't forget, with Aurora Energies, you can attack with Miraculous Duo GX to do 200 damage, and you might be able to heal if you have the extra energy. So cards in this deck that we have the 4 copies of Cherish Ball and 4 copies of Quick Ball that will be able to get us our Dedenne GX or any of our Pokemon that we have in this deck pretty simply. We do have a copy of Fan of Waves, just in case you run into a Corviknight or a Metal deck that has the Coding Metal energy, because they're pretty much immune to Giratina nowadays. We got 2 copies of Reset Stand just to hit our opponent where it hurts the most. And we have 4 Giant Hearts, which allow us to discard a lot of these Pokemon that we want to get into our discard pile to copy with Perfection and getting our Fire energies. We went with the Pokegear version of this deck instead of a Jirachi version. I think it's a little bit more consistent, but I could be wrong. This is just my current way that I like to play this deck, and everything else is pretty explanatory when it comes down to it. So I think this deck's kind of hot. We'll test out some gameplay. Definitely, I hit up the Discord. We've got a couple games coming up against the Home Slice Joey, so shout out to Joey for helping me out with these videos. If you want to be part of one of my videos or kind of hang out with our community, you can check out the description below to hop into the Discord. I'm pretty sure I said that a few times this video, and I mean, hop in the Discord, just hang out. That being said, let's jump into some cool gameplay with this deck. So here I am, calling a coin flip against my pal Joey from Discord. If you haven't already, go into the description and join the Discord. It's popping off right now, super fun, and you get the opportunity to play games with me sometimes. I'm not always open for games, but when I'm filming videos, I definitely like to try to play games with peeps who I know. We are going to be going first in this matchup, so I think I'm going to go with the Mewtwo and Mew GX. I think, yeah, it seems better than anything else that we got going on in this hands. So we'll have to see exactly how that turns out. Could be as simple as just me attaching an energy. And I think that's what it's going to be. I think I'm going to go ahead, attach an energy here. I'm going to go Giant Hearth. I probably should have done Giant Hearth first, more that I think about it. And let's grab a couple Fire energies, seeing what is available in this deck. We do have access to other Mewtwo and Mew GX. Nothing crazy going on here as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go ahead, grab those. And I'm going to go ahead here and pass. So fingers crossed that we don't get absolutely bodied here. It's always scary starting with the Mewtwo and Mew GX because there's a lot of very strong Psychic type Pokemon available in our current formats. So there's a Scoop of Nets. With it being a Scoop of Net deck, I have to really see exactly what it could be. I think, okay, so that looks like it's Rapid Strike Urshifu. Not sure if this is going to be Dragapult Urshifu or whatever's really going on there. There is a Rapid Strike energy on that Pokemon. Am I going to get strafed into? It could be a strafe Quick Ball for the Mimikyu that would stop me from being able to attack. And that might be enough here to really keep us out of this game. There's the Jirachi GX. So the Jirachi GX is going to be difficult to deal with. So that's going to stop the weakness on both sides. So not necessarily have to worry about Urshifu too much, or about the Mimikyu, because it certainly would be better to stop me entirely than to worry about weakness. Okay, so not doing strafe. I definitely would have done strafe for at least 30. So we're probably just going to go for a Reshiram and Charizard trying to hit for 230 damage. I'm not going to use Giant Hurt to thin out the deck yet because I do want to try to pitch away that Pokemon. So let's go Welder. We're going to get those energies there onto the Mewtwo and Mew. We do have a Jirachi-GX of our own. Not sure if it's going to be worthwhile to play down in this matchup. I don't think that there's Psychic-type Pokemon that I'm worried about getting attacked into. I'm going to attach the Fire Energy here, and let's go ahead and pitch this hand. So again, keeping the Giant Hearth is a way to discard what we have available. We can find the Reshizard. And I mean, I think that's really what we're going to be doing here. So there's the Cherish Ball. I'm going to go ahead here, get off to a quick start, pitch this away. I can grab a Fire. I'm just going to grab the one. I don't want to go too hard on that. And I'm going to go ahead and copy Flare Strike for 230. So that's going to be a huge hit into that Urshifu. So the 30 damage wouldn't have mattered. Really, probably just an awkward start on Joey's behalf. But this is really showing what Mewtwo can do, not even worrying about the weakness, just taking that turn 1 or turn 2 OHKO on the Rapid Strike Ursh. And now we're just like boss orders away from being able to attack into something else, or I could snipe something with Naganadel, maybe sniping the Jirachi. So this would be very few things that are really gonna stop us from losing this game at this point. Reset Stamp being one that could be difficult. So maybe this is a bit of a risky play from Joey, sending up the Rapid Strike Urshifu V. Maybe we're gonna see the strafe this turn going into the Crobat V. We'll have to see exactly how that goes. But we still have lots of options for our next turn. And there's a Marnie. Okay, so this is one of the things that can happen in our standard format. Marnie can definitely mess with our turn. We did get a Cherish Ball. There's the strafe that's going to happen. There's the 70 damage. And yeah, Crobat's going to go there. How can we deal with that Pokemon there? I do want to go... let's go with Giant Hearth here first. I think that sounds like a fair play. Giant Hearth first. I'm going to Giant Hearth away. I really don't want to lose any of this. I'm going to Giant Hearth away. I'm going to Giant Hearth away the Aurora Energy. Grabbing a couple Fire Energies. Just want to get another Mewtwo built up. So let's go ahead and go for Cherish Ball for another Mewtwo Mew. Would have been nice to have something else, but I need to kind of plan for the long game, not the immediate benefit. So we're going to go like that, getting those energies right there. And we certainly did get decent things going on here. Let's go for Cherish Ball because we can gladly start getting things out of our deck. We do have Dedenne-GX, so I do want to grab a Cherish Ball Pokemon that does evolve. I am going to go for the Charizard-GX here. And I'm going to Quick Ball away that to grab another Pokemon I want to get out of the deck to discard. So we're going to grab the Gengar Mimikyu. And then I'm going to go Quick Ball again on the Gengar Mimikyu to grab the Dedenne-GX. So thinning out a lot of the Pokemon, really opening up the Perfection ability for a lot of abilities. Just want to double check to see how many switches I've used so far. So we haven't used any switch yet. I am going to go ahead here and go for the switch. Might be a little bit risky, but I think we're generally okay. We're really an energy away from being able to use Double Blaze here if it does backfire. So let's go to Dedenne-GX, drawing 6 cards. And we've already used our supporter for turn. Or no, we haven't used our supporter for turn. Let's see what Pokegear brings us here. So there's boss orders. Oh, we did use Welder. Okay, you wonder what? We did use Welder. That is correct. We do have the boss orders next turn. I did forget that. Always double check up here if you ever think that you have played a supporter or not. So that's something that I should probably note to myself. Because I otherwise wouldn't have wanted to play the Pokegear because the boss orders could just get filtered through the deck. We are going to go attach the energy here. No point of playing Reset Stamp or anything else. And I am going to go for the Double Blaze GX because that's what's going to be able to get the knockout here. So that's another prize card. I think the win con that we're going to be able to win this game is sniping that Jirachi-GX out of play and drawing into the Crobat and the Giant Hearth, 2 prize cards that I'm certainly excited about drawing there. So with us having 2 prize cards left and Joey having access to 6 prize cards left, I'd say it's pretty much favored, almost a done deal for us to steal this game. Really looking for an Aurora Energy to take care of that Jirachi-GX. So there's a Dedenne-GX. I mean, more Pokemon in play gives us more opportunities to attack certain things. And Joey's really looking for a Rapid Strike Urshifu to try to attack. That's something that can bite off pretty much anything that we throw. So that is going to be the wave there. Maybe using just Gale Thrust this turn on the Mewtwo and Mew-GX. We'll have to see how that ends up going. So, I mean, I think Joey's about 3 turns away from winning the game, and at our current state, we're about 1 turn away from winning this game. I don't know if there's a world where 2 turns can be taken to win the game on Joey's behalf. I think there's just not enough damage on board, and that's really due to the Mewtwo Mew-GX having such a quick start in this particular game. So, we'll have to see exactly how this goes. There's the escape rope. With us having 3-7, I think I'm going to go ahead and send up the Dedenne-GX. Just because that's going to allow us to attack with a double tag team Pokemon. There's the Gray Catcher. Okay, so escape rope is one of those things. It doesn't necessarily always matter. Escape rope Gray Catcher is one way to get through over that. Oh. Okay, maybe just wasting cards out of hand. We totally have it. We're just going to go boss orders, bring up the Dedenne-GX to win the game. Just attacking with Reshiram and Charizard-GX. And 230, so drawing all 6 prize cards relatively quickly in that series. Okay, so playing against the Home Slice Joey from Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, it's right there in the description. You can totally hang out and have the opportunity to play some games with me and all the other awesome members in our sub community over here. Call the coin flip. I'm gonna call heads because I think it sounds fun. You won the coin flip. Would I like to go first? Now I am playing a Welder deck, so I'm going to go second because I think that's what's going to give me the best chance of winning this game. So I'm going to go with Nah. We're going to let Joey go first and really see what Joey's playing. With the Fire deck box, I think that it might be a Fire type deck. Now, our hand's interesting because we do have access to the Welder. I'd really like to get a Giant Hearth into play. If Joey is playing a Fire type deck, maybe they'll get a Giant Hearth for themselves in play. And that'd be certainly helpful for the Mewtwo and Mew-GX. So we'll have to see what's going on. It's really one of those things where my whole idea is, let's try to top deck a Fire. If I can't top deck a Fire, maybe Joey will play something that allows me to get a Fire. And then after that, I also have Crobat that can draw into potentially some Fire type cards. So it's one of those things where I'm just trying to figure out exactly what's going on there. And maybe we can get something good going on with the Mewtwo and Mew-GX next turn. Depending on what's available, I could just get it. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. I could always Welder 1 and attack with, what's it called? Vileplume-GX. That might be interesting. So there's certainly options available. The Reshiram and Charizard-GX might be a little bit much there, but that's okay. You want to what? We did get the Giant Hearth in play, and it looks like we're playing against the Victini VMAX kind of Welder toolbox deck. So that's pretty cool. Certainly appreciate playing against one of these new decks. So if you haven't already checked it out, I did cover this deck on my channel, or at least what I believe is this deck on my channel. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Try to knock out that Jirachi if that's a possibility. And we have access to the Flare Blitz GX. So yeah, we're going to go ahead here and Giant Hearth away the Charizard. We're going to look through our deck to see what options that we have. So we do have options to attack with Vileplume GX. We could attack with Incineroar-GX. So we do have the options necessary in order to make things happen. Hopefully we top deck something cool. Let's go Welder here onto the Mewtwo. We'll grab a couple energies. And perfect. So now we're able to fully attack. So we're going to go Cherish Ball, choose an attack that would allow us to knock out the Dedenne-GX. This totally allows us to knock out the Dedenne-GX. And yeah, there's the Incineroar. We are going to attach here. And let's pitch this hand away because there's no other use for this hand. Unfortunately, we are going to lose a Welder. I'm fine with having the boss order in the discard pile for Eldegoss purposes. And we're ready pretty much to get the knockout on the Reshiram and Charizard-GX next turn. So we're going to go Crushing Punch for the knockouts and see exactly where that puts Joey in this game. The Giant Hearths are not going to be good in this matchup. And the reason why is because there's a Giant Hearth in play. Both decks play Giant Hearth. It's just going to be a dead card in my hand. So there's the Welder. I think no matter what, we're going to leave Joey energyless because we could also just attack with Darkest Tornado. Does 50 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. I think the hot play would be actually using Escape Rope to knock the Dedenne-GX with Flare Strike, if that's a possibility. I think that would be totally the coolest opportunity to kind of jump back in this game. Although I am just an energy away from using Flare Blitz GX. Now, earlier on the ladder, I did run into one of these decks that plays Crushing Hammer, Team Yell Grunt, and Fan of Waves. So it is possible that this version is that. I'm not entirely sure. Whenever you're playing against someone, it's closed deck lists for the most part. So let's see what's going on here. Will Joey be able to get another Pokemon in play, or do we just have win in hand here? Okay, so there's the Victini V. Know that there's opportunities. And I mean, I like that Victini V because Flare Shot can just kind of deal anything for the rest of the knockouts. So we're not 100% in the clear for next turn. So there's a Flare Strike. That means that we can use Darkest Tornado GX 10 plus 50 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Certainly a lot of damage. But how are we going to make anything really happen? Miraculous Duo is not going to really work. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Welder 1 energy to my Dedenne-GX. I just want to double check for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and Welder the single energy there. There's a Mewtwo. I can go ahead. I'm going to put this energy because, again, I do see the Fan of Waves being a little bit more popular. I'm going to discard the Vileplume GX. And I am going to grab a couple fires because I don't necessarily need to worry about Marnie or Reset Stamp too much. We've already seen the Reset Stamp, one of them at least, to hit the discard pile. And here we're going to go for Darkest Tornado GX for a whole bunch of damage. That is going to do 1160 for a knockout on the Reshiram and Charizard. And putting us at 2 prize cards remaining. Fan of Waves is cute. I don't know if it's a card that I entirely love in this deck, but I could imagine if I'm playing against like a Corviknight or something, being able to lift off a Coating Metal energy can be absolutely hot. So we'll really have to see how this game kind of ends for Joey. I don't know. I think it's got to be like a Reset Stamp, Welder, Flare Shot. If I've ever seen one, because V-Bullet's not going to take the knockout. We are a GX Pokemon, not a V Pokemon, so it's that in-between time. We do see part 1 of what I'm talking about, and that's going to be the Welder. It could also be a Victini VMAX play, which I think would be quite strong. It definitely means that they're not getting knocked out the next turn. So there's the switch. That gives us opportunities. We'll have to see. There's another Welder. Not sure if that's exactly what Joey was looking for. I think it's got to be like the whole Reset Stamp. Usually when your opponent's down to 2 to 3 prize cards, the only way to win the game is going to be from the Reset Stamp. I don't like putting the other Victini V down in play unless we're going to be seeing a Dedenne-GX hit the floor anyways. I would have thought it would have been a little bit better to get the Victini V Max, because that just gives me another like option to attack into. So we'll have to see. There's the Scoop Up Nets. I don't know if I actually have a great attack that can go into it, because we did use our GX attack up. There's the max victory for 1 hundo. And I don't know how this is really going to work out. I don't have a great way to knock into this Victini VMAX or anything. So let's send this up. I think no matter what, the first play that I'm going to be doing is Eldegoss here. I'm going to save the Giant Hearth until after I use Welder. So this deck you might missequence a lot more, seemingly missequence, because you need to discard things after you draw them with Welder. So usually you're trying to use Giant Hearth after to pitch things. Let's go Welder onto the active. Don't really have a lot of great attacks that I can copy. I think the best attack that I can copy is probably Massive Bloom. So I am going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pitch one of these Giant Hearths because I think Giant Hearth is probably a card that we're not going to see too much success with. Let's go ahead and reset stamp. And again, I'm going to go Giant Hearth, discarding a Giant Hearth. I just want to make sure that there's no play. So Neg is not going to be a play. There's nothing out of these cards that I can attack with that I feel super comfortable with. So the reset stamp into attacking with, let's just say, Massive Bloom probably puts us in a game-winning position. At least I hope so. Because that means next turn I'm fine to just drop it to Naganadel-GX. So as long as Joey's not able to knock out this Mewtwo GX, we should be in the clear to win this game. I mean, we don't have access to any, like, I think Naganadel is going to be the way to win the game next turn. So there's the Naganadel-GX, certainly a good card to get off of a Welder, or off of a reset stamp, I should say. And I mean, I don't know how Joey could jump back into this game beyond just getting a one-shot. That would have to be from like the Blacephalon variant or something else. So we got to see what's going on here. There's a Cram. The Cram might be able to get a prize card, or 2 prize cards, that is, on like a Naganadel-GX. But that just means that we can attack for like a decent bit of damage if necessary. Trying to get out maybe a Reshiram and Charizard. And we currently don't have it, so we can get reset stamped out of this game. It's certainly a possibility. There's the max victory, so not the extra energy. And we can totally just attack for the 130 damage necessary to win the game with Crushing Punch. So we're going to give the Well Played the hearts. And let's go for, we could go Flamethrower here because that does do more damage. So drawing an extra prize card in the process, but sometimes when Mewtwo GX runs hot, Mewtwo GX runs hot. And all right, we have that sick deck all covered on this channel. I mean, those games were absolutely amazing for Mewtwo, showing how consistent the deck can be and how powerful the deck can be in an early game, especially against 2 of the newest decks in the format. So again, I do want to give a huge shout out to Joey for playing those games with me. Totally appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's hard to find people to play games against, and sometimes the ladder absolutely sucks when you're trying to film a video. I don't know if it's if you're a YouTuber or if you've been playing on the ladder lately. I feel like you only run into the decks that beat your deck, right? I don't know. But that being said, let me know what you think about this video, about Mewtwo Mew in general, if there's any hot techs that maybe you have in your list. I know that Espeon Deoxys might be cool against Mad Party. That's one that's certainly on my mind. But beyond that, I'm more than hoping to hear some suggestions and cool tech ideas that you have. That being said, I do have to go edit this video, and I'm totally on a editing, recording spree right now. So no more banter. Have yourself a great one, and peace out. Enjoy your weekends. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member on Zacklessage PTCG. Not only do these members watch my videos regularly, they also have contributed financially to me as a content creator, which makes my world a lot easier and financially stable. I don't expect anyone to offer any kind of support financially to me. I certainly appreciate every single person who watches my videos, but I do want to give an extra special shout out to those who have went above and beyond, and that list includes Ali Plays Pokemon, Xenon TCG, Smart TCG, Slavin Tizik, Joshua Sutherland, Justin C, The Home Junkie, Samuel Stapowski, Yoshi3483, Anonymous, and Jake R. I truly appreciate it, and it means the absolute world to me. If you want to know what channel memberships is, you can get special perks by paying a certain set amount fee monthly. And it's all within the channel membership. So on desktop, you can click join, and then it will show you what their offerings are. It's based around each individual currency, depending on which country you live in or reside in, but there's options that include getting access to all of my deck lists, YouTube to Discord integrations, special group coaching on a monthly basis, and more. I really appreciate everyone for supporting my content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, it'd mean the world to me if you could subscribe to help support me as a content creator. Thanks again, and have yourself a great one.